2023 was a year the markets moved, but as many noted, it was a year in which the wealth was concentrated in just a few hands. The Magnificent Seven tech stocks powered most of the returns for the S&P 500. But what about 2024? Well, many are saying that this will be the year of the small cap because these overlooked stocks are trading at big discounts. Now, one stock that investors may soon be learning about is Tribe Property Technologies, ticker symbol TRBE on the TSX Venture Exchange. Tribe is a tech company that is disrupting the property management industry. In the company's most recent quarter, it posted adjusted EBITDA that grew 34% year over year. We sit down with CEO Joseph Nakhla to talk about what is driving this growth. Hello, Joseph. Thank you so much for joining us.
Great to be with you, Brandi.
I want to start with this. You recently appointed Angelo Balini as president of Tribe, in addition to his CFO responsibilities. And so what went into making that decision, and what does it mean for Tribe?
Yeah, no, it's a great question. So Angelo is a seasoned veteran of prop tech for more than almost 20 years, 2 decades, and obviously had an incredible history and success with Meritus Group, which is essentially one of the best performing companies in the prop tech space. And over those 2 decades, came with a tremendous amount of knowledge and experience around the operations specific to the accounting and the service delivery of that to the world of properties. They obviously came from a lens of taxes for these asset managers, and in our case, we obviously manage a large portfolio of communities of buildings across Canada. And his skill sets and the willingness to continue to innovate and build new processes to support our national footprint was very infectious in the organization, and it was pretty easy to see why this made sense to add to his portfolio of responsibilities, as it is very much in alignment of his skill sets.
In your recent news release, you also gave an update on Meritus Group, which was recently acquired and based in the Greater Toronto area. So tell us a little bit about that acquisition and what it adds to the company.
For those that have been following us, they'll have known that we've obviously started in one office and one small footprint in the downtown core of Vancouver. And since 2018, essentially, we've grown that small footprint into operating to 8 markets with 8 offices across the country. One of the areas that we really needed to strengthen our presence in is the GTA market. It's no surprise to anybody walking around the downtown core in Toronto how the urban landscapes change. Significant amount of buildings have come in, and quite a bit of demand was required for the type of service delivery that we do, which is tech-backed property management. And we've been asked by many of the developers that we work with that are actually erecting these buildings and using our software to help manage it, when were we going to be available, fully licensed to operate, boots on the ground in the GTA market. And it made sense for us to be selective. It's a difficult market. We wanted to make sure that we acquired the right people, the right opportunity, and the right philosophy in terms of the company we acquired. And we felt Meritus and their leadership team really met that bar that we set, and it made sense economically. So we've made the acquisition as of early January. We are on the ground, and we're starting to see that essentially yield us fruit in terms of being able to secure business in that market.
Tribe has successfully completed 12 acquisitions, and you mentioned you still have a robust acquisition pipeline heading into the year. So can you share with us what Tribe's acquisition strategy is?
Yeah, so needless to say, property management has been around for 50, 60 years. The residential property management has had an incredible amount of demand in the last couple of decades due to the reasons I mentioned earlier, the urbanization of the way we live, and around what we call strata or the condo living, as these communities became a lot more complex, an injection of technology and automation was required. And that's the thesis of what we do as a service delivery. There's traditional property management companies, and then there's our tech-backed or tech-elevated services delivery. So because of that, we've been able to make acquisitions of traditional property management companies with the right philosophy. And by bringing them on board, digitizing their communities and buildings, we put our technology in there. We like to think we elevate the service delivery, but we also unlock revenue streams from these opportunities. Everybody that lives in these buildings is, they're spending money on services. Most of these communities or buildings are spending significant amount of dollars on just, keeping the building maintained and operating. And we're there to kind of leverage our group buying power and leverage the data stack that we have to be able to get them better deals and lower their operating expenses.
And as I previously stated, Tribe achieved a 34% year-over-year improvement in its adjusted EBITDA last quarter. Can you tell us a little bit about how you were able to accomplish that?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's, we're the small engine that could. There's three national players that service residential living in Canada, and the two of them are in the billions in terms of market cap and revenue. And then the third one is us, little Tribe. So we had to invest heavily in building that national infrastructure. This isn't just a function of acquiring companies, it's also the function of integrating and actually building that seamless service delivery across. And while I'm not ready to say we're incredibly ready to go, we've made quite a bit of progress. We're still not fully there yet. However, when you are now building that national footprint, you start realizing scale benefits and some efficiencies that you start realizing. And that was really the main driver behind the improvement EBITDA. And we look forward over the next 4 quarters, really essentially 24 to be the year where we actually move the needle towards profitability.
And that brings me to this question. Is reaching profitability still a major goal for Tribe? And if so, what steps has the company taken towards reaching that goal?
Yes, it is absolutely 100% a big area of focus for the business. We're still growing, so we haven't ignored that part of our responsibility to our shareholders. And also, frankly, we just think we have great service delivery and we want to service more people and more homes. So that quick answer is yes, it is absolutely an area of focus for us, and we're going to continue taking these steps. And the second part of the question, which is just a very good one, is how are we going to get there? Well, a couple of things. A lot of the companies that we acquire are they're accretive acquisitions, so they do deliver us improvement to our EBITDA as we buy them. They come with they're generally cash generating, but also when we buy these companies, we also start realizing a lot more efficiencies, which is a traditional roll-up strategy that a lot of people would be familiar with. But we also have stuff that allows us to improve the gross margin and improve the revenue per home and essentially the wallet size that a lot of these homeowners have with us. And that's already starting to yield fruit for us, and it'll be evident in Q1.
Well, we are wishing you well in 2024 as well. Tribe Property Technologies CEO Joseph Nakhla, thank you so much again for joining us here today.
Thank you again, Brandi.